So, I'm not 100% sure if I am exactly live now. I think I am, because I don't actually have the stream up.
You are live.
Cool.
You are live.
But this is Zanki 0, last beginning. The way we actually do the starting for new games is we don't start on clicking new game and continuing on, because I'm pretty much the only person that's actually had a... That's not saved, yeah, that's fine. I'm the only person that's actually running the game. It doesn't have an official speedrun.com page because I don't have enough time to do that sort of thing. But we start not after this part. The reason we don't do that is because I want everybody to be able to actually stream who streams the game, be it with a capture card or through PlayStation 4 itself, to have a chance. So we actually start on first movement, so I will give the countdown for that. After that I will introduce myself and the actual game and everything. So, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. So this is Zanki 0, last beginning. Is the very beginning of the actual map. You can actually see in the proper game where this is. This is known as Garage Island, and it just so happens that there's this mysterious girl we're chasing. And then we get a tutorial about pointers, and what? Well, the game is made by the same people who end up making Danganronpa, so you should know them from being a bit of a dungeon crawly sort of didn't they murder mystery thing.
Sunday, July 8th.
And it's a similar sort of movement system. The battles are semi-turn based. You move in real time, people attack in real time, and but the movements that the enemies take are very staggered. It's very much clear that the entire game is set with a semi-turn based system because of that. We won't see any of that, because we're playing on difficulty 1, and difficulty 1 is a joke. So the first thing first is all of these tutorials, which we do not care about because it has nothing to do with us. And then we get to meet everybody who's actually on Garage Island here. So, whatever game. However, there's this TV. Okay, we gotta click on it. It says,
What's this?
what is it about? And it's about a show called Extend TV. And our first job in the entire game is to make a toilet. Basically, everybody has woken on Garage Island. We don't know why, we don't know how we got here. Our character had jumped off of a roof at the beginning of the game, and he should be dead, but he came here. Why? What is the purpose of this mysterious place? Well, that's the entire plot of the game. You gotta find out why.
Is that?
So, we are basically meeting everybody. This is the prologue of the game. Everything that you'd like to know sort of gets explained. One of the main mechanics of this entire game is a system where the characters can grow in age. I'll explain that in a bit more detail when it actually gets to that point, but yeah, this is basically explaining how movement system works. If you press forward, you'll just walk. If you double tap it, you'll run. If you want to move side to side, you press the L1 or the R1 button on PS4. I do not know what it is on PC, I'm afraid. So good luck. And one of the key things with this is you can move around a little pointer by using the right analog stick. Left analog stick. And the right analog stick acts as the camera. This is again literally just teaching us, how do you pick up stuff? Well, if you spam the X button, you can have the cursor automatically point down towards the thing you're wanting. And that comes in helpful, but it doesn't automatically trigger switches. It's fun in its own way. So you do actually have to manually move it, and it's a bit of a job. Here's the tutorial for equipping any items.
Maybe this will come in handy.
Now we don't care for that because we're playing on difficulty 1. Everything dies in a single hit. And nice. So as you can sort of see, the enemy goat in this particular case moved, waited, moved, waited, twists, waited, then twists, waited, and the clear cycle. If you'd like, you are real time, but there's a cooldown after each attack. System where every character can basically get a second movement to attack. There's a system where you can have to attack. Now, somebody right before the game started said, will you be using any strategic uses of toilets to make people die? No, we won't. In difficulty 1, you don't basically lose anything. The only thing you have to worry about is moving. It's completely movement based. All enemies die in a single hit. There's no worry about stress, there's no worry about food.
Yo, sorry to interrupt you, but you gotta pause. We brought the tech issues from NoGA4. We Slow stream already cut out. Slow was working on fixing it, so just pause quickly.
Well, that's useful because I was about to actually clicked on to skip something, so that's nice. To really.
And we should be. I see you back live, so.
Okay.
Cool.
So we actually use toilets as a method to release a bladder gauge. If this bladder gauge reaches max, the characters will wet themselves, and that increases a state where enemies will come after them. They will basically try and hunt you down a lot better and find you easily. So here, one of the characters was joking because the mission we've got is to die and then be reborn. And one of the characters decided it'd be a good joke if I get some glass and kill myself. So the police officer character decided, no you're not, we're taking that away from you. Nice, it is Westerns for sure. Why would you do that? It upsets the very, very young child. So yeah. And of course, this game has a very, very clear difference to Zanki Zero. Oh, sorry, to Danganronpa, and that's each of the characters do not have Pepto-Bismol going through their veins, which is unique in a way. But since none of the characters have Pepto-Bismol, it can get pretty gory pretty quickly, as you'll, well, I won't spoil it. So we're basically going to be running through all of the places, and of course I'll go a bit too early. And, well, each of these islands, well, for this one, it's sort of reminiscent for some reason to our protagonist, Haruto. He's not sure why, but Master Hero Garden Tower, what's that, I wonder? Oh, that happens to be where, as you can see, Haruto decided to jump. Well, why did he want to do that, I wonder?
Let's try activating it.
And more importantly, what's behind this door? I wonder about that. Could it be something plot critical? No, it's oh, the characters have all dropped their Pepto-Bismol everywhere. Oh no. Well, basically, each of the characters happens to be harboring something. Haruto happens to have been a worker within Masahiro Garden Tower as a news reporter, and, well, there's loads of the Extend TVs that are basically saying, well, what was Haruto's backstory? It turns out that he was a journalist, and one of the things that he'd done an article about made him driven off the edge. One of the main mechanics of this game is extending. It's basically reviving every character, and you have the option to revive with a Sugar Bane, with no Sugar Bane, and then we distribute skill points. We don't care about any of that. We don't have to worry about it in the slightest. And then let's skip this quick, because we don't want to get banned off of Twitch. That's not actually the worst one, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not too sure why it is saying it's 480. I'm streaming 1080p, so it's tech issues for the first one of a new marathon. Name something more iconic. You're joking about that. There is actually a video game you will eventually unlock on the Extend machine, and it becomes plot critical as well, in a very weird and kind of unique way. So now we're going back to Masahiro Garden Towers Island, and every single chapter starts off with a nursery rhyme. So of course, Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on Wednesday, took ill on Thursday, worse on Friday. Dead on Saturday, buried on Sunday. And that was the end of Solomon Grundy. There's no skip tech, it's literally just movement. The only skip that I've found so far happens to be a kind of weird thing where if we route the last level well, we can basically skip needing to go into the main area for the last section. And even then, that's dependent on a system which is about to come up proper once we properly enter into Masahiro Garden Tower. And of course, activating that generator also opened up this grate, which comes in handy. So it's much more nice to deal with. And then there's also a bit of speed tech that will come up once we also enter Masahiro. So of course, because it's a VN, we're basically skipping all the plot. Because it's difficulty 1, there's literally no reasons to actually do any of the challenges. I need to actually pick up some of the items there, because it turns out that there's a set of floors a bit higher which are blocked by pressure pads, and we need an item to weigh them down. And now here we actually encounter the aging effects. In this game there's a day system. Every single day that passes, each character ages. There's a minimum age, and there's an age gate system. So if none of the characters are alive, these doors here, the Zanki doors, do not open. Because of this, we have to actually plan out our revives so that none of our characters will happen to be dead when we come up to them. They're basically gating all of the boss doors. Thankfully, if we're good enough, we don't actually have to worry about the system in the slightest. And because of that, that's not what it wants. There's 2 days, 1 island. There's possibly 2 places where the day system can be a real pain, and in 2 unique ways. When we get to them, I'll explain how. But for now, the main thing to know is the Zanki doors happen to be age gated. If you mess up in the Zanki door, you die.
Let's activate.
If you're messing up with the Zanki door and you're dead, you can't continue really. So we click, and then we have to click, then go up. It's up here, around here, and this is actually one of the speed tech moments. Is we don't want to have to go. I forgot to push the button. Nice. So there's actually a button in here. This one, I think. I think it is, yeah. And basically, it stops 2 of the doors from being closed. You should know. Yeah, there we go. And that should be open. There we go. Cool. And that basically acts as a shortcut for chapter 3, because we have to come back to this particular part of the island to continue on. Tech issues and streams. Nice. And then this is actually one of the parts I've been messing up a little myself, because I just completely forgot which order to go in. It isn't in this door here, it's up here, I believe.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's this one here.
Watch out!
Click this button down. And then it's here. Yeah. And then that actually activates one of the closed-off doors for one of the doors we need. So, and now this game isn't bad, the category is bad. The game is a brilliant game, but for this category we basically skip all of the puzzles. There's literally no puzzles that get done. And thanks to that it becomes a joke. Nope. It's this door.
Well.
And you'll actually see one of the reasons it's a joke in approximately 3 seconds. So this is the first encounter of the entire game. It shouldn't be the first encounter of the entire game, but it is. And this weirdo happens to have like a really messed up arm. And why is he saying that something to the chief when there's no chief there? Well, he had something popping out of his arm as well. That's a Cleone. He's basically a corrupt human of some kind because of science. You should totally buy it if you're wanting to. It's a brilliant game.
Watch out!
And I will see the reason we picked up something is to open this door. That's literally it. The door we would have wanted to open is going to close if we actually pick up the item that was on it, so we have it with us. I've lost time a couple of times because I forgot to bring an item. And again, it's basically going through the story of why Haruto is so angry at himself. Well, he was doing a story about an abused woman who was trying to leave his her abusive family, and the woman said that she'd appear as long as she wasn't none of her identifying features was shown. Well, Mr. Editor decided that it'll be a good idea to put this woman who's in a not very good place, her photo front and center. And Haruto's beating himself up over it. That's actually the reason he decided he wanted to do something that he shouldn't have. Because he felt it was his fault. And this is our first boss, as you can see by the door. And you might not have seen it, but there was a little sheep to the left of this particular room with a knife in it. That's showing that there's basically a boss in that room. And this is our boss. And this is what difficulty 1 does on bosses. This is why difficulty 1 is bad. It's legitimately a terrible category, nobody should run it, and it's a blast to play. No, really.
By the way, were you watching when I used my special move?
Watch out! There's something here.
Yeah, Show and Mirai are definitely worth the cost of entry just because of the ZTV jokes. But the entire plot is absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best Spike Chunsoft games I've played in a while. And I'd be willing to say it's even up there compared to Danganronpa 1. So yeah, it's definitely good. No, nobody actually runs this game at all. I'm literally the only runner, so it's nice and fun.
Decide where you belong.
He happens to be a new thing that I haven't said anything about, so we'll first do this. I am a gold lock. I am a gold key. I am a silver lock. I am a silver key. I am a brass lock. I am a brass key. Well, I am a lead lock, and I am a lead key. But I am a monk lock. And this game is a monkey. Every single chapter we play as a different main character. In this case we're playing as Zen the farmer. Unfortunately for him, his life wasn't very zen. It was actually kind of wild. Keep doing that, because normally you do go directly to the garage. Well, Zen the farmer happens to have been living in a pretty wild place. His family out in the countryside was unique, shall we say. The game itself, if you're playing it, not speedrunning, it's about 30 hours? 20 to 30 hours, maybe longer. Depends on if you're planning on grinding around and doing everything else. But if you're planning on grinding and just kicking about, it could easily be 50, 60.
What's this?
And of course, most of that is reading. It's good, but yeah, no. So we're going to see where Zen happens to have for his nightmare. It's weird, but it basically Zen's. Oh, I don't think I've actually explained this yet. All of the bosses happen to have a sin, a cardinal sin, based off of what the character's sin is. Hawato's was sloth, I think. I seriously can't remember. I haven't played in a long while to actually just go through it properly like that. And it turns out that Zen also happens to have one of the 7 cardinal sins. You may have noticed something. There's 8 characters, but there's only 7 sins.
Watch out.
Oh. Well, that's because there's a Joker in the mix. And now we went too far. Nice. And now I'm actually planning on seeing one of the main reasons that this is a awful category. Oh, there's a puzzle. Oh, okay, solved. No, really. Diff 1 literally solves the puzzles for you. It becomes even more apparent when you're on the Creed stage. Stage 4, I think? Yeah, stage 4, because it's the one just before the nice and peaceful.
What are you doing?
If you're wanting it gameplay, after you beat every single stage,
Watch out.
you can go back for
What are you
extra plot, effectively. Extra side stories about all of the islands, how they were sort of interlinked and everything. And there's also a system which I'm never going to explore in this called the bunking system, where if you happen to be with a character and you sleep with them, no, it's not lewd, it just happens to raise the affinity with each of the characters, and that affinity also gives you bonuses in the field itself. So one of the ones is you happen to gain even more XP and even more of something else that I can't remember off the top of my head. Money, I think? No, it's rare item drops. You get more XP and more rare item drops. And there are like 8 different sort of sets of that, and it's very useful if you're wanting to properly get into it. There's another system which, again, we're never going to have to ever encounter because we're playing it on difficulty 1 as a speedrun, and that is a front party, back party system. So I currently have 4 people in my front party. I have Haruto, Mamoru, Ryo, and Zen. And then there's the other 4 party members are also in the back party, and they don't have any weight capacity. Those 4 do. Every item I give them will have a weight to it, and each of those characters can only carry above a certain weight. And again, another puzzle, but again, because we're speedrunners, we know the answer.
Let's activate this.
No, it isn't that one. It's this one, I believe.
Well.
And then we click the
activate
button.
this.
There we go.
There's something here.
The puzzles don't change things, so yeah. There's no time limit. You can last as long as you basically want to. The New Game Plus system, if you're wanting to go through that, which you will if you want to get all of the skills, you do not keep your levels, you do not keep your items, you do not keep a lot of things. The main things you keep are the sugar bane, which you get from dying. Again, something we may only do from old age, if we're unlucky. And then there's also from like dying with certain attacks, you gain resistance to that kind of attack. If you happen to die from eating poisoned food, like poisonous food, you'll gain a resistance to that poison, stuff like that. The main reason I personally run New Game Plus is because there's 4 sugar bane, which is the name of basically the thing you get from dying. There's 4 of them which increase 1 day to the total lifespan of each character before they expire from old age, and to be from dying as an adult, as a middle-aged person, and as a senior. Now, we won't ever properly need any worry at all about the age system, bar once, if we're unlucky. And even then, that's not if you're really, 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 really unlucky, because there's one point where it can get completely shafted, to put it politely. Where if your character is a certain life state, so say for example if a character is senior, and you're not and the characters aren't meant to be senior, you might not lose something. So if it happens to be Zen's boss, I never actually explained what Zen's life thing was. Well, I really can't actually now that I think about it, because Twitch. There's a lot of monkey hanky panky, and we'll leave it at that. A lot of monkeying around, which basically ruined Zen's life. And because of that, he despised his father, and that's the reason he wanted to kill his father, and his father, in that weird mutated state, is the creature of wrath, I think? I really cannot remember for some of them, I'm afraid, sorry. So, yeah. But next, we have Mrs. Police Officer. And it just so happens that we're actually going to be testing out something new right after Mrs. Police Officer, which may actually come to backfire depending on the day system, but I'm willing to bet it might be good. So let's do this again. Queen of Hearts, she made some tarts all on a summer's day. The Knave of Hearts, he stole the tarts and took them clean away. The King of Hearts called for the tarts and beat the knave full sore. The Knave of Hearts brought back the tarts and vowed he'd steal no more. You may have actually noticed something as well with those. All of the nursery rhymes have had something to do with each of the characters' backstories. Well, stealing is a crime, we all know that. And what kind of person's a police officer?
What?
Yes, it is that kind of tenuous with some of the links, but there you go. However, this is actually going to come in very useful, because there's 2 systems here that are used. Right at the beginning, they're both introduced, and they're very nice, and I shouldn't have... There's me shooting the gun. Overshooting the gun, sorry. And of course, we wouldn't normally have to worry about that, so yeah. That's on me.
What's this?
That's completely on me being a bit of an idiot. And this is explaining the Cleone system. So, you might have seen where that random guy, he had that weird purple pustule popping out of his arm. Well, that's a Cleone. They're a mutation of... made by science, and they hurt. But they're powerful. They're very strong attacks, and it also happens
Let's
you
do
can
this.
harness these powers to attack others. So that's exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to be installing, which I believe is the term they use, Clone Transplant, a Cleone into Mrs. Police Officer. And avert your eyes.
Drown, am I?
And it shouldn't get any more risque ever. So... this is the new tech that we're planning on trying to do, so Cleone Transplant, and we need to go to Winko with Scorching Heat, I believe it would be. And that's for a lot later in the game. So while we were in Masahiro Garden Tower, there was a thing we were doing. Yeah, like those sea angel things. Now, when we were in Masahiro Garden Tower, we ended up doing a bit of a roundabout thing to open up both of the doors at once. Because, of course, why would you need to do that, though? What was the use? And, of course, expires at 70. We should be. But we opened up that for this day only. And then we get to Mamoru, we activate the Cleone, we attack, because we need to use the Cleone to destroy the wall. And then there was somebody in the Discord for Zanki Zero who asked, can you skip those? Yes, you can. You've got to press options on the PlayStation 4 controller. I don't know what it is on PC. And now, this is a really kind of weird place. Why on earth are we at a Metro Plaza? Well... of course, we're here to try and grab a extend machine. But this is the police officer's home domain, and this is also one of the first parts where is noticed. And we'll see how lucky or unlucky we are fairly soon. So is it going to be this way?
What are you doing?
No. Ooh. There's little walls here on this particular part of the map, which may be open and they may not be. As you can see there. If I was lucky, that would actually be down and we can continue on, but because it's up, so what we're going to have to do is go all the way around. And of course, I didn't go high enough.
Can't go there.
And I think about this game enough yet to know that I think it may be possible to manipulate the RNG. Because it's based on the day system. And as far as I can tell, it's possible to get the same events happening if you keep doing the exact same things. Then that's going to end up having a step system like in, I think it's Final Fantasy VI. So there's no ability to stagger step because it's a dungeon crawler in its system. So every single step we take is a step, and
Wait.
I don't know how many it takes or anything. But here's our next boss. And it's some weirdo. What kind of guy would look like that? What kind of person would mutate into that? Well, it turns out that it's linked to one of our heroes. Like all of them. And it happens to be the police woman's kid brother. He was a little bit of an idiot, shall we say. And his events didn't end well for his sister. But that's Kid Brothers for you, eh?
Huh?
So now we're actually in the subway system, and in my proper save, I've still got stuff I need to do to get 100% map completion, because I can't find out how to do it. And it's on the floor below this. There's a single part where you're meant to be able to actually hit, break through a bit of wall or fall down onto the perfect point, and I can't find where that is. So it's been nice and fun. Oh. So for this one, do not forget to go down here to pick the switch, or else you can't exit.
Whoa.
Thank you, walls. And thank you also everybody else who's actually came along. I've just been pretty, as you can kind of tell, busy. And it is actually looking like we're not going to have a bad amount of RNG so far. 'Cause, there we go.
On 3.
We'll actually know soon because the person who's currently in senior, who I forgot his name, would be dead if we were going to have a bad thing, but we haven't, so fine. But of course, it's down here.
Open.
And push the UK style train button.
This thing, right?
Go along. Nice, we didn't get electrocuted. Yep. Is this... Actually push the button, please.
Does this thing
Up
move?
here. All the way around here. And we didn't get shocked, so that's nice. So in this one, it's a massive sort of puzzle of, well,
Whoa.
how on earth are we going to get to where we need to be next? I wouldn't be surprised if it is day related. I haven't properly fully explored every part of these maps. I think this one it's... yeah, it's down here, cool. Still sort of remembering it all, nice.
Can't go there.
Don't fall down there. It literally loses no time, but it's embarrassing. It's literally an embarrassment. It's made by Spike Chunsoft, so it's not too much of a surprise in that sort of system, I guess. But plot-wise, it's not really comparable, unfortunately. It's similar, but that's the most you can really say, I'm afraid. No, even then, it's not really... It's a lot less about acting rather than finding out what on earth has happened in this particular world that's made it go so insane. Yep, and of course I go through the wrong door.
Does this thing move?
And then we don't want to mess up. And then we got
Step.
weird character again, the boss. This is actually one of the nicer ones because the boss immediately leaves a shot. And that basically lets us skip our text much quicker. No. No, it is actually this way. Nice. Here, here.
On 3.
There is actually a reason for us to do that, I believe. Because I believe it's actually because of floor stuff. I just can't remember. I would 100% recommend this game casually. No doubt. Literally, go out, buy it. I picked it up on a board. Oh, the box art looks pretty good and interesting. So, that should say enough,
Watch
frankly.
out.
Oh yeah, that was what that switch does. It actually opened up that back part there. Right, that's what we are. That's the reason we've done that. No, it's not there. It's here. But yeah, I would 100% recommend picking up this game casually. Just don't play it on difficulty 1. And really, don't do it on difficulty 1. In fact, I would actually recommend playing it difficulty 2. Until you unlock the ability to change difficulties, and then
There.
if you're feeling that difficulty 2 is playing well, put it on to difficulty 4. Now, this one's actually a bit of a puzzle. There's loads of switches and it's a load wishy-washy go around to try and find extra stuff, but to open up the boss door you just gotta click that single light switch. And that's literally it. But of course again, it's another very, very, very difficult boss. And again, if you have a particularly nervous disposition about nursery rhymes and little girls singing nursery rhymes, and because we happen to move forward and me is stepping on a pressure plate, we get hit by a shot from a trap, but it doesn't matter because it's difficulty 0, difficulty 1. But if you're averse to that sort of things, look away now.
Whoa.
You will be spooked, and it is indeed going to get pretty red.
What's this?
PS4, PC, and also PS Vita. But nobody bought. I'm not surprised that you forgot the PS Vita. Sony forgot it right after it got released, so. And then here we come up to the big bad. And he's hurting Best Girl. But he's hurting Best Girl. And yeah. He looks like somebody, doesn't he? He looks like one of our friends. What kind of evil sicko would do such a thing to our friends? Well, not like it matters anyway. Because now we're going on to the creature of greed. Who just happens to be our the only person in the party who's fat and always talks about food. It's a bit on the nose, and oh, she also happens to be the most rich and affluent person. So,
As you sow,
yeah,
so
very on the nose. And then I'm not gonna even sing doing this one because I really do not remember growing up with this one. However, this is chapter 4, and on chapter 5 there is going to be something which is entertaining to see. Sorry, give me a sec.
Sachi.
I believe this is actually... sorry. Yes, it is. Somebody said that, oh, you literally save your friends by playing a game. Well, it happens to be you're playing Reckless Skies. And Zanki with X and a head? What? Well, that's actually a massive plot point. Very, very end game. So I'm not going to say what it is, but... and I shouldn't have done that. That's 5 second time loss. Nice. Oops. And that's why you don't spam X, you spam circle like you're trying to confirm in a Japanese release game. That's literally the only time we have to even bother with that in the slightest, so yeah. And so we have
What's
Zen
this?
being middle-aged. I can't tell with the West, but we'll know fairly soon. Nope.
Huh?
And normally I'd be walking straight forward. This is one of the nicest, neatest little things that they've actually done in the entire game. That's literally the opening. So, it's gonna take like 5 seconds, but that's literally the opening. And not only that, that's literally the very start menu of the entire game. Yeah. It's a beautiful little detail, but I love it. It's so good. Now this is the Belle Moi, and it just so happens that this is, well, was a cruise liner for the ultra rich, and it happens to be the one ran and owned by, well, another thing that we can't say. Well, that entire story is something we can't explain on Twitch, I'm afraid, so please play the game instead. But it just happens to be owned by one of the characters' dads, because he's a very, very rich man. Now we take this jacket, because we don't We don't want to wear it though. I don't like this jacket anymore. Yeet. That's all we do with it. It's like, oh, I want a new jacket. No thanks. And don't walk up because that's slow. So we're basically going through the Bellemoire trying to get 2 key cards. The 2 doors that we can't currently access. And if you don't recognize the if you basically can't find the way to go for one of them, then it's possible to, I think it's this one. It's this one. Then it's possible to get all of the plot on one side of this, and then wondering why isn't there any more of the plot stuff on the other section? There should be plot stuff here. And and I've been going for this week recently because I've wanted to try and get that puzzle correct, because I've not got it correct in a while. And this is one of the ones where there's another puzzle which, if I mess it up, is a massive time loss. So we don't have to push this switch, but we do it anyway because it's force of habit in any video game.
What are you doing?
We have to pick up this though. This is a key card.
Is this
This is the key card that we need for this area. But what's this guy? Oh no. Oh. Oh. Oh, he's nothing. Don't worry about him in the slightest. I normally actually open. The reason you want to open that switch up if you're playing it casually is because all of the enemies are on a semi real-time based movement system. You can move to the side, run right past him, move to the left, move to the right, and then just basically jump all the way past any of the attacks Kurosaki done. And once you drop through that hole, Kurosaki doesn't follow you anymore. Sorry, Kurosuke.
Hey, can't go there.
This might be it.
Here's that one, cool.
Ow.
Yeah, it took me way too long to figure that out as well. It's, oh. Yeah, that's just gonna be fine. And then, this is meant to be a 4-set puzzle, and there's actually another puzzle after this, but whatever. However, I don't know what this is.
Let's try activating it.
I think it's actually meant to be hand and foot or
Here
something.
we go.
But you don't actually have to answer them correctly on difficulty 1. You can just spam all of them. On higher difficulties, it will spawn an enemy behind you, which can come in useful if you're wanting to grind. So it just gives you the answer. You would normally have to find that by killing enemies to get it.
This might be it. Here we go. Let's try activating it. Here we go.
And I believe that one's actually
Activating it.
the stop sign and the foot for relax, don't worry, and kick back or something. Cool, we actually have a bit of stuff to chuck on here.
Whoa.
So we want to access here.
Ow.
And of course I've completely forgot what this puzzle is, because it's a frustrating little thing. So what we're going to do is, we're not going to grab... here. Because the milk doesn't break when you chuck it, the egg does, because if you chuck an egg, of course it breaks. And that's the reason there's the good old prank of egging your house.
Let's take this.
Yeah, one of the characters are gonna die. Nice. And this one is over here,
Can't go
down here,
there.
along here, down, along, down. And that's not even the worst one to fall down. Difficulty 1 is very much odd. If you're wanting to play the game casually, don't play difficulty 1. If you're wanting just to have the plot, play difficulty 1, but otherwise don't. There's always this puzzle being an absolute pain. There we go, my last.
Here we go.
The ways you meant to do it all, so yeah. Then this is a puzzle where if you mess it up, it's a pain. If you've ever played one of the style of games where as soon as you step on something, everything closes behind you, it's one of those. So here, and then I can click on this one, and hop, then here,
Try activating it.
here, and then that's done. It's very much long periods of nothing, but if you're re-going through places, then it is semi-useful because you can actually completely go through all of the places again to get all of the extra plot stuff and any items that happen to spawn on the floors or anything like that without any worry. Or if you're a coward and you don't really like the atmosphere that this game provides, because it's so. Oh, what's this one? So that's
Whoa.
what? Well, that's the first time those have actually been closed. Nice.
Might be it.
Oh, right. So we're actually just gonna RTB, because probably gonna die anyway. He didn't die. Because Zen is almost bought the upgrades for the oh crud. That's actually terrible because there's 2 floors. He's gonna die. If I'm able to guess it right, next floor.
What?
Whoa.
Can't go
Yeah,
there.
cool, use that key. Skip this.
This way.
I mean, it may have been my end as well a bit, because there was like a weird spike in my frames just dropping, so... No, he hasn't died yet, good. But let's not forget.
Let's try activating. Here we go.
If Zen died, the next part, that's actually the worst luck we can get. Get those praise RNGs in chat. And here we see, we got lucky. Yo.
All right.
Get in there with the Praise RNG. And the boss for this one, well, normally the boss is in the room ahead of us. But it's just an electric floor. What? Well, there's a Samuel L. Jackson moment. And that's the most PG way I can put it. And there's a reason that our particular... the character that Sin's based off of is... she looks similar to our lead female. And tightly shut despite the fact that it's clearly wide open. I love that. Just something so stupid. So I'm looking at my my clock on my laptop, and it says it's, pardon me, been 53 minutes. I think that means I'm actually looking at a decent PB pace. This game normally is not PG at all. It's not PG in the slightest. I mean, it was worse than the original Japanese version, but
I have no memories of my
it's a bit more PG than that one. And this one, I don't think I actually worked with neither, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, this game is great fun. And of course, it's also a hot mess when it wants to be. This is going to be 5. So this is chapter 5, so we're going to a nice old place, a good old resort island.
Snap.
Good old classic Japanese resort, and we're going to see just how bad our RNG was. Because this is one part where RNG is the dictator of if we're going to have the best luck, second best luck, the third best luck,
There's something here.
or why on earth am I even going to be bothering? And all of those, like, 2 of them are, oh, please, no. One of them is, you gotta be kidding me. And one of them is, oh, okay, that's actually nice and easy. And then there's RNG on top of that RNG, because one of the things, we need an old character in their senior years.
Hey.
So, where did we spawn for this day system, I wonder? Is it going to be best luck, or is it going to be the worst? That's Koromoro Hot Springs. Again, the plot for this one I can't really explain to keep it PG, and that's actually best luck. That's straight up best luck. Nice. So here, here, here. So the thing we got to do for this one is activate all of the TVs.
Let's
There's
check them
TVs
out.
up here. I think this might actually be... What? No. So I'm going to check something, because I can't remember if it's this one or not. No, it is. No, it isn't. It's not this one. Okay. But there's nice reference to Danganronpa throughout this entire game. There's posters for all of the Danganronpa games that have been released, including like the not remakes but the collections. And if you get enough of the posters, then the chance to have a random Monokuma spawn in and start attacking increases. And Monokuma drops some really wet. However, Monokuma happens to spawn on Garage Island. And you don't want him on Garage Island. No, it's this one. 5,
Time for a break.
4, 3, 2, 1. There. I can neither hardly properly hear the click for if that's done, so... no it isn't, of course it isn't. Okay, since it's going to be doing that. It's 1 up, and...
Whoa!
Nope, it's here. So normally the way to tell what you got to do is here.
What's this?
They're on these boards here. Rest well at the footbath, and the path will be opened. So for this particular one, the reason this is the best is because you can do it no matter what. Footbath. West.
Let's recover our energy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, and that should be it. And if it isn't, yeah, mechanical noise, so yeah, it's been done. I normally try and wait for 5, but sometimes it's a bit funny. Oh, that's the symbol for a boss room. Oh. Oh no. That's gonna be awful. Oh no. This is honestly one of the worst days to actually get a character, and like one of the worst maps to have a character enter the year 17. Thankfully, once those doors are opened, just don't touch them. That's seriously the best advice I can give. But here is poster 4, the V3.
This?
And there's even good old Monokuma's little laugh. Well, it's not much of a hot spring episode because that's for the side stuff, unfortunately. You have to come back to this island to actually get that as one of the side things you can find. And it's great because there's like 3 of them. And one of them is as adults, and then the other one is as seniors. And it's an absolute weird, wild blast, and I love it.
Destination
It's
is
so stupid.
Huh?
Then this I don't think is the good one. I think we're actually going to lose.
The next destination is
That TV? No, it's not. That's actually bad.
Let's check
Yeah.
them out.
So we're gonna go back up this way. And we're just gonna hope. Yeah, it wasn't enough. Okay, thought not.
Hey!
You can actually go back and forth between different parts, but I might as well show this one as well. This one is the RNG wise, because if you end up getting stuck with this one, you're basically
Where are we? Let's check the map.
in a rut, and that's in the center one, isn't it? Oh, center path's actually down, nice. But this island is terrible. The actual puzzle for this, it's the only one where they don't give you the answer item for the puzzle. So it's not good.
Careful. What are you doing?
Give me a second, because we should be able to. I'll actually be able to read the comment from the person who we bought the game brand new. Hopefully it doesn't fall into the Nope, it doesn't. The actual category I'm running is the reason it's under bad. Difficulty 1 is a joke. Don't seriously play it. Good luck finding it in stock. There was literally one in the entire game in Plymouth. It's literally the only one. So, yeah. It's obscure to say the very least. It 100% fills the obscure section of the bad and obscure Speedrun showcase. The game is legitimately great. And of course, all of the characters, their sins are represented in these final things.
There's something here.
And that guy was wanting, that creature was wanting us to bathe. So, I could make a very, very topical joke, but I'm not going to because, yeah.
Watch out.
Careful.
What's this?
Yes, ooh. But the way we actually deal with this boss is we have to go to all of these,
Whoa.
switch all of the switches to get all of these freaks out of the pools, and then we've got to try and find where all of them are. Because for some reason they don't always like to pop out of the actual pools. They can be a bit of an annoyance like that, so...
Found it.
There he is. And there's one more, I believe, because it's only 5. The boss, there he is. And that's actually great, because the place we need to be is very near to here, so... And here it is. The general gist of this game is that single screen. That's the general gist of this entire game. Yeah, the combat is actually good. There's a system where each character has weak points, they call it. It's basically points where the enemy's parts can be broken. And those particular parts, when they break, can give you extra playoni on higher difficulties. My first time I ever switched it to difficulty 1 was on the Chapter 6 boss, because it's insanely annoying if you don't know what you're doing. No. And yeah. So here we're going to see if our gamble is going to pay off, because it was a gamble. So yeah, it gets spook. Enix. This isn't really as much a old school dungeon crawler, I'm afraid. It's inspired, but it's nowhere near, I'm afraid. It's a mix of them. I originally picked it up because I thought the same myself. I thought it was very much going to be old style sort of dungeon crawler in the same sort of vein as Phantasy Star, some of the original Phantasy Stars when they're dungeons, and I was pleasantly surprised by how different it was.
I can't go there.
Winko is actually within the age we wanted. That's actually great news. No, we don't want this guy. Literally anybody else. And that means the reason I put Winko there is going to come in handy. So I've been delaying doing this in the route for a fair bit. Nope. But there's a section where, as you'd seen at the beginning, using certain sugarcane you can break walls, and it also works with wooden panels. This one has wooden panels as the main object that you get stuck on, and they can be destroyed with fire attacks and an item called a fire axe. Unfortunately, we don't really find a fire axe in this, and it's not really worthwhile to grab. But when you're playing New Game Plus, which is what this category is in, specifically New Game Plus Difficulty 1, it does come in useful. So we are going to use that fact to our advantage by making sure that Winko has a fire Cleone. This is because Winko is definitely going to be alive,
This is it.
because this happens to be her stage, with her sin being... nice, thank you for doing that, game. With her sin being kind of thin, the Discord for Zanki Zero has been very much debating a lot of the like minutiae and the mini details in this, and it's kind of like beautiful to see. And they kind of all said that Winko's is bland and not really there, and I can't blame them. Oh, right. I was meant to actually do this, so after we've done this part, so we go here, and I don't want to forget this. It's along here, up, down. Don't want to fall onto that one because it's at a 10. Up here. Skip this. Of course, it's turn me to the side. This one says 200 kilos. If our party had over 200 kilos, we'd fall down there. You don't want to fall down there. That's basically death. So going along here, I think. Yes, it is, because I've got to press this.
I'm gonna use it.
And then along here. Up. Here. Twist. Then, of course, because we're under the weight, we can do this. And we don't need to use the fire thing there. That's actually just giving us 3 items. And it would come into another effect of using the Cleone. The Cleone will actually give extra stress to the character's body when used. And as such, if Winko was to have to use her Cleone, she'd be heavily affected. And that's actually the best RNG. We're forced to walk down to this part, but there's as part of the day system, it is possible to have the corner, which we're going to use right now, to be blocked off. Just here can actually be blocked off by the little bench press things. So what we're going to do is activate our Cleone, use it to attack this, use it to attack this, and that saves us time by quite a lot. That was the reason that I'd spent a bit of extra time giving her the fire Cleone. And that was the reason I'd theory crafted that as part of the route, but hadn't seriously done it yet. So we're going to go back all the way around. And it also comes in handy because we are going to be falling down to this part first time.
Let's keep this up.
Click this button so we actually have to fall back up. And then out here.
I can't go there.
I believe. Because I do not believe we end up reusing this area normally. But I may be
Go there.
misremembering. No, I'm not. So next we have to go all the way up here. Of course, don't want to actually step on the stones because it makes us tumble, and we'd normally lose items. So we're trying to get all the way around this part actually. So here. Oh. It's along here, isn't it?
I can't go there.
No, it is the... of course it is.
Ow!
So, where would we... Because I'm trying to...
Let's
No,
see.
it is actually...
Any markers?
Because this part of the map gets a bit of a maze, unfortunately. It's one of the few parts of the game where my knowledge is slipping, unfortunately. Because there's 2 ways to get into the second area over of the next part. And I know you're gonna cross over
Ow! I can't go there.
here somewhere. Is it along here?
Ah!
No, it isn't.
I
It's
can't
along
go
here.
there.
No, it's here. Nice. And of course that also skips an update system. Thankfully none of the characters are going to die now. Fall down, so that's a massive embarrassment. And then having her as Cleone here is coming in useful. So it means we can easily get into next area where we need to be. So again, actually having Fire Cleone as part of the plot for this is good. It's legitimately useful. Skip this.
I can't go there. Do you need the map?
And I think it's...
Ah!
No, it isn't. Okay. So it's literally just continuing on straight up, twist, and then twist along. Oh, you can just keep on going down south, down here. Nope. Okay. Here. Here. Yeah, it's here, and then it's... Let's actually grab an item then for that. It is more than possible to actually just delay it, so you don't actually have to worry about that in the slightest. And of course, that's actually a system where the Cleone can become an annoyance.
I can't go there.
You might notice there's a percentage bar, and then it says Cleone. If that reaches 100, the character can die. And then this was where we were trying to get to. This is the boss room, and this was the first room where I had actual problems defeating the boss. And even though it's possible to beat it without other people, I'm gonna add other people because it comes in so much more useful due to how the actual boss in this one works. Should be. I don't know what the time is on the timer, but if I'm correct, we should have 30 to 40 minutes before the actual before it's done. So yeah. Now this it looks like Winko, but well, she's got a flower growing out of her.
I'm going to activate it. Is this it?
No, of course it isn't in this one.
Hey!
It's going to be in somewhere here. Is it this one?
Whoa!
Seems
of course
I can't just force
Pistol.
it.
Nice.
Hey!
There. I'm going to activate. Huh?
Oh, nice.
Seems I can't just
Nice
force it
to
up.
open. So this one, when you're actually doing it properly, the little head with the phone is the enemy you're trying to find. Nope. Okay.
I can't go there.
Nope. Yeah. Nope. So of course it's in the single room which hasn't been opened.
Whoa!
Why wouldn't that be the case? And of course I wouldn't
There.
actually hit that button when I was meaning to. There it is. About 118. Yeah, that's about right then. So that would mean I'm actually on 50
Let's
Two?
have a look,
or
shall we?
53-minute pace. I wouldn't say they're creative actually. I'd say they're pretty. The only reason they're even creative is because it's just modifying the human body. But if you're even into it, like a slight bit of J horror, that's very, very minor. And of course we've got somebody coming back from us. Oh no. And of course it's difficulty 1. We can take him. It's not going to be any problem at all. He's easy to kill. Oh. Oh no. Plot armor doesn't always save you. Sometimes it can kill you as well. And now all of the characters die. Yeah. No, it wasn't Venom, it was Kurosuke, and he is a big bad who likes London Bridge falling down. And oh no! Hawato's dead. Well, we can revive him, surely, he's not going to be bad. Except his X key is broke. We literally cannot revive him. And it turns out Muscle Doctor was behind it all. He was the bad boy. Muscle Doctor was the evil mastermind. But there's still 2 more chapters to go.
My parents met at their university.
So it wasn't all his fault, clearly. And of course, if you've played any Danganronpa, then so of course they use Baba Black Sheep. I literally only just realised that. So yeah. That's literally the link to that nursery rhyme. I did say they were pretty tenuous.
What?
So now our goal is to actually see what's behind the shrine. Well, it turns out that the islands weren't just mysteriously appearing in front of us. It turns out that it was actually Mamoru moving the islands while we were sleeping. And of course, because of that, there's no new episodes of our one and true best friends, Sho, and no, it's actually alright, cool. Sho and her little sheep, and his little sheep, sorry. He made no more. He had no reason to. He thought he'd won. But this isn't Mamoru. No, this is Sachika's home. This is the girl who happens to have a metal arms home. So yeah, again, all of the puzzles are solved for us. We don't have to worry in the slightest. There you go. Nice and easy. I don't know, but I know there's also Zanki no Terror, and that's also another post-apocalyptic thing. And it also sounds a lot like they're saying thank you in a kind of way. So I guess they're saying thanks for doing this for us. So I do that even though we're not going
I'm
to
going to activate it.
be using it. I think it was actually too slow. Oops. Oh well. What does it matter? So for this one, there's the main puzzle in this island, if we're going to call it that, is a keycard system. The keycard system in this is actually kind of forgiving. It's actually pretty enjoyable, pretty nice. There's
Careful.
4 keycard kinds, and one of those kinds happens to have a variant of 3 of them. It's Zanki 0 is considered obscure, and of course, boy, good old our boy, good old Hawato is dead. So, since the Zanki doors need every character to be alive, there's no Zanki doors in this one. It'd be literally impossible to actually use them, so they've just simply added none of them. And it makes it nice. The characters' lives, they can all die, for all we care. Because Satchiko can't die from old age. She's not got the same problem that everybody else has, so she's basically fine.
Let's check the map. Where are we?
Yeah. Here. And that's our first keycard.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Well, the thing is, there is no cure. No cure in the slightest. Of course, Hawato is dead, so and we don't have his X key, the thing we use to basically revive him that looks like a D-pad that we stick into our little arcade machine to play our Endless Skies game. And of course, now we've got to go here, pick up this,
There's something here.
and we go around here, in here. This note basically says put all of the washing that's needing to be done onto the pedestal. So we immediately do that. And we run all the way around. Just to grab this level 2
Let's have a
keycard.
look, shall we?
But we're not done yet. This level 2 keycard only activates doors on this floor. So we actually do need to use this level 2 keycard for something, but oh, dead. That's for taking Hawato, you big meanie. And then we're gonna pop open it up this door, and I'm gonna have to see if I can properly route
There's
the
something here.
C3's that's third path. So this one accepts all of the level 3 keys. And there's a puzzle as well for this one, but we don't have to worry about it. My favourite bad game happens to be the one where Professor Palmer decides that he's going to be a baller and go for Chinatown twice. So, let me see if I can remember the correct route for this one. So it's down here. Yeah, actually I can remember this one fine. This isn't a problem at all.
Careful.
Now, normally I wouldn't have to be worrying about this in the slightest. It should be up here. There should be... yeah, cool. It's here. No, it's B. So, right, it's going down, up, and around. Click the button. Nope. So it's down here. Click this. Oh. Trying to find the right
Careful.
thing. This one.
I'm going to activate it.
I think so. Yes. Nope. Oh, right. It's that one. I forgot that. It's not in here.
Is this it?
Now, you might notice they said, "Oh, that
Let's
switch
have a
looks
look, shall we?
suspicious." And that's actually the key we needed. That's because it's a trap. It's a straight up trap. If you click it, you're dead. Well, not dead, but night falls on your head and you get hurt. And yeah, that is actually the fastest key. key set to get because of the first floor being quicker. And that was lucky. And then we go up here. Because we already solved the puzzle, but we needed the level 4 key for the next level up. It's not really classic dungeon crawling movements. That's the reason. Of course,
Let's check the map.
it's northerly. The actual movement system in this is weird. It's semi-real time. You're moving.
Seems I can't just force it open.
Oh wow. Oh right, yeah, it's this one. Okay. Here. When you actually move, your footsteps are cool.
Huh?
Your movement is in real time. All of the enemies are staggered, so they always move on a set cycle. So it's step, wait, step, wait, step, wait, and that step can be any of their actions. So if they attack, it's within that. So in other categories where there's actually enemies, one of the common ways to actually defeat the enemies is to, and I'm not joking here, have a 2x2 square, and you just stay on their diagonal. When they turn, because a turn is also considered a full action, then you attack them, and you hurt them by that. No, it's not to the side, it's straight up. Here. Then we get even more plot stuff. But yeah, e-movement is a unique part of the gameplay, honestly. It's nice. It's got its fun, but it's not perfect. And now we've got a bloodstain. This game is now become Castlevania because there's a bloodstain. It's totally a Metroidvania now, boys. It's totally. And yeah, it's basically more lore. And of course, dead sheep, so it's a boss win, but there's only one possible person it could be for a boss here. And that's Kurosuke. With a chainsaw! Just when you thought he couldn't get mad enough,
So, you
he comes at us with a chainsaw. And he said that Mamoru was teacher. Well, I'm actually missing a lot of plot stuff here, because you should play it, it's totally worth it. But yeah, he's
Let's have a
a
look, shall
teacher.
Here!
And all of the 7 are kids. Actually, childhood friends. Sure. So now what they've done is, they physically killed Kurosuke. They've took his X key, and now they're taking it back to Garage Island to make it into Hawato's X key. So yeah, we have Hawato again, yay! Well done, lads. He's alive. Then this should be, if I'm correct, last stage. Next. New Game Plus is, well, yeah. It's difficulty ones. No, the New Game Plus stuff has nothing to do with why he died so quick, unfortunately. New Game Plus is literally just because it happens to give us the Sugar Bane for dying as a kid, adult, middle-aged, and senior, and that basically increases our life expectancy from 13 days to 17 days. It's literally the only reason we even do that. Only reason. Thank you, Zazatsu, for saying, because it's diff 1 is the reason it's bad.
Can't see anything.
And yeah, this is, I believe, last one, Nami.
Yeah!
Before we start off, I'm wanting to check after this, because this is final chapter. This is actually New Game Plus. Things you actually gain over from New Game Plus don't do much in Diff 1. The only reason I even do it is because the Pleione that gives us the fire attack and the extra days. That's literally it. That's the only two. That's the only reason it's used. If you wanted to do it new game, you could just as easily. It just means you'll have to go into Garage Island a little bit more. So there's no reason not to. And this is the only level where I've actually got proper speed tech in it. So right at the start, we're basically told, yo, so we've got to find a way to open up the D door. So lads, we've got to find the D. The key D. But we're going to delay on getting the key D door because there's a... Well, the day system has that influences... I'm calling it RNG, it's very much set. But there's a system where some of the doors in this one are going to be nice and open.
Haruto?
We want one of them to be wide open. It doesn't matter if it isn't, because by the time we've explored, it will be. So much easier. So, of course, there's that key 1 door. Don't want that one. I'm going to go up here. And speed tech. Now this door, that's a nice door. I like that door. That's a good door. You open up here.
Is this it?
You open up the next door.
I'm going to
You
activate.
click this switch.
Is this it?
Go here. And now we've got the speed tech done, boys. Now you might think I'm being a bit of a joker when I'm saying that. I'm not.
I'm going to activate.
I'm totally not. So we need this, because it's going to be coming in useful next. I think it's this one. Yes, it's this one, nice. And then we're going to drop this here. And then it's... I just remember it because of the pattern. I don't think anybody has seriously actually answered that one by the riddle that it's given. Because it's so wild. And right, that one's the one that's a door. Yeah. Here.
I'm going to activate it. Huh?
Before we end up going back, make sure we grab this. We need that.
Have a look, shall we?
Then we go down. And this is the reason it's actual speed tech. Yeah, we won't have to go back. We are literally golden. Well, this door here says 2. We don't have any level 2 keys. We can save a level 2 key by doing this. So I'm clicking this because I never won.
Careful.
Because I believe it's actually flipped from where it is on the map. So we'll know if I look here and it. So now we have a level 2 key, but we don't actually have to use it.
I'm going to activate.
Yeah. It's not randomly generated. It's based off of the day system. So
Is this it?
every single day that passes influences the
Huh?
even though it's not RNG, it's completely set from as far as I've been able to tell. And now, of course, we actually have to go all the way back because we still haven't got D key. But because of the set days, some doors and some floors aren't open. We still do have a fast floor. No, we don't, because I've got to grab it. Oops. So we are still going to have to go back down this way. But if you notice now, that door's closed.
Huh?
So because the day system was on our favour, it was open, and we were able to basically skip a load of the stuff. And I should have really headed along this way first, but whatever.
Let's have a look, shall we?
Because we do need this disposable key. But every single time I've actually seen the door being open, I've just took it. Because it's simply not worth risking losing that.
Careful.
So now we do actually have to go this way.
What
So
could
that
this
was
be?
actually the key we'd need. So we're gonna skip this.
Shall we?
And I... Nope. Oh, okay, so here.
Sit open.
Oh wait, I
Sit
think...
open. Is this it? Huh? There.
on.
There's something here. Seems I can't just force it open.
Shut this down. No, of course it wouldn't.
Seems I can't just
Do that.
force it
Okay.
open. Careful.
Yep.
Seems I can't just force it open.
So it's one of the ones here, I think. Nope.
Let's have a look, shall we?
There
There's
we go.
something here.
Nope. There we go.
Is this it?
Finally got out.
Huh?
So I'm gonna waste that one key. Then we're gonna open this, but we're not gonna go through it yet. We're just gonna open this one, and to make sure that we do not lose our level 2 key, we're gonna use it right now. And now we're gonna open up this, and then we're gonna continue on with the plot stuff.
How's that?
And Sachika's arms jumped off of her. Her robotic arm has came to life all on its own, and oh, it's literally her dad, who happens to be Momo's, not Momo, Mr. Buff Doctor's dad. Also, shout outs to it being Manny, and if this game ever got into an actual RPG limit break, then I would be mispronouncing it a lot as Nami. So now, of course, everybody's become an adult, and Winko's become 13 days old, so she's clearly not an adult anymore. And then for this one, we don't actually want to win. Believe it or not, we want to get this horridly
I'm
wrong.
going to activate it.
There we go. Because if we mess up, that opens up, and that's actually how we get out.
Huh?
I spent a lot of time trying to get that correct first time around. I'm not gonna lie. And what's this?
What?
Shin extends TV. Oh,
Hey, kids!
it's Sho and Mirai. And the Doctor. I thought they died. Ah. And the reason you never want to give Mamoru any Cleone is so he can just basically rush through that room. Straight up, that's the only reason you want to do that. And this is to skip some hectic stuff. No, really, there's literally like 2 floors which we see nothing of. Because of the width of this. So we now go up. Is it this? No, it's not. I think it might be one of these. Nope. Nope. And of course, I just wasted time. Nice. So twist, hop, and it's down this.
Whoa.
Well, is it this one? I think.
Huh?
If I've messed this up, it's going to be painful to get back. I don't think I have. It should be here. Nope. No, I have. Oops. So yeah, if you notice, doing this pushes you around, So
Careful.
no, of course we went down the wrong one, so it's this one. That doesn't look right again either.
Whoa.
Oh boy. But no, it's shooting out sound waves that affect the Cleone. So it's this way, it's the other way. Of course it's the other way. And then this one goes around. And this is definitely the correct way. So pop open this. Slid. Slid. And we push the button.
There.
So we can grab this level 2 key.
What could this be?
And then we purposefully trigger the floor, jump
Going to
down,
activate it.
and we are very nearly done now. Like, I'm not even kidding. So we go down here, along here, up. So we don't need this, I'm gonna chuck it away.
Huh?
No, actually we're not gonna keep that, because we do actually need that
Nice.
for something in a bit later.
Careful. Huh? There's
And
something
that
here.
is our third key. That's literally the only 3 keys we need. And if you've played this game casually,
Whoa.
you would have explored a lot more of this map. Like an insane amount more.
Seems I can't just force it open. There.
Because of the day system, and because of the routing we've took, we no longer need to explore a lot of this map. So we can go here, twist, and then let's just go up the stairs.
Careful.
Why not? 100% map would be a completely separate category that is actually good, I'm afraid.
Whoa.
Unless, of course, you're playing at any 100% map difficulty 1, in which case you're doing this entire game a disservice. So you're just basically adding busy work to do nothing. And also you'd have to actually know the pattern for the very end of the game, which, oh boy. There's a reason there's all of the, oh, there's 8 square? What does that mean? Well, we don't care. Yes, we twist and shout. And who likes force waiting in video games?
Is this it? There. I'm going to activate it.
Because
Whoa.
I
There.
sure do. And we now have literally a minute to do nothing. So how is chat, I wonder? This is literally the 1 pee break you have in the game, and it's 5 minutes before the end. So, what is if somebody could actually say what is time currently? And I'm doing perfectly fine, folk. $1:47. Yeah, it's not world record. World record is 1:49, and everything else that we've got to do is going to take us about 5 minutes. And the best thing about it is, when timer stops is really weird and kind of annoying when you first start running it, because it doesn't make much sense. I thought, oh, it's going to be totally here, and it wasn't in the slightest. So yeah, we have about 5 minutes of stuff left to do. Maybe 6. So well within the time I was expecting the one to be about. Because I'm basically going to be happy being at under 2 hour. And then we go around. Yeah, we're literally 5 minutes left. We're right near the end. Nope, I do that too much. Oops. The reason we actually picked up the helmet is because of what we're going to do next.
I'm going to activate it.
And there's some stuff in this part which... can I pick something up now? I don't think I can. I might... Oh! Nice, I did actually Ah, why is here?
Whoa.
There's a puzzle coming up
What
again,
could
which
this
needs
be?
more stuff thrown, and it's something where
Huh?
if you mess it up, it's annoying. It's 15 minutes under my estimate because credits theme is great. So if
Whoa.
credits theme is fine, I would like to be able to push that through. Because the epilogue has some
Careful.
stuff in it that's interesting. Take like this, climb it, throw. I like to wait to make sure I can actually open it up. And then we're gonna go down here.
Let's have a look, shall we?
And yeah, the reason it's so underestimate is because when I'd set that
Seems
estimate,
I
I
can't
think
just force it
my
open.
record was
Is this
210. It wasn't great, unfortunately, but since then I've been lowering the record by quite a lot. So yeah. Now this is actually one of the biggest puzzle rooms, and this is for the final major plot
What
stuff.
could this be?
But it doesn't matter in the N% one. We don't have to worry about it. Any
Something
input
here.
would work. So that's how we actually win. And that's all of the plot stuff in there. And then this is this is Sachika's telling us you have one last chance to step away and not have everything go sour. But the only thing that's gone sour so far is his attitude. So there's last Zanki Zero door. Sorry, Zanki. Yeah, Zanki door. And it's basically saying if you continue on, you're not going to be able to do anything more. It's half through. After you beat the game, you get prompted to save for clear game. And then if you continue on, load up the clear game save, you can keep on doing extra stuff. There's literally nothing more plot-wise to do. There's no real post-game other than grinding for items and sugarbean and stuff. And this is the penultimate boss. It's a weird test chamber, but it has Sho and Miwai's face on it.
What the?
And then the door closes behind us. And like all bosses, we rush and just hit them. But that isn't the last boss. No, 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 no. Oh no. And nor is this actually, now that I think about it. And I've got to remember to dodge that, so it'll send you back.
Can't you understand me?
That's two of our protagonists' dads. Dad. And then something wild happens, and he becomes... Oh. Oh no. He killed Sachika. Oh.
Sachika!
Oh. Oh. Oh boy. Oh yeah, right, actually that is... I think that was final boss. Yeah, it was, and then... Oh, there's a baby, but without any X skin. Oh, it's all so cute, and she's alive again, and... We're safe! We're not done yet, though. There's a little bit more before credits, I'm afraid. And well, you know how a lot earlier I'd said that the game was a bit weird with the life system? With oh, why is there all X's and we're still playing? Well, that was based off of how the Zanki does with its fighting. So this is basically going through all of the machine's basically broke. All of our characters aren't going to come back. And the last character dies. And then we go to credits time. But the life system is set so even with all X's, there's still one person left. But when Sachika died, there was 2 lives left. So yeah, there's actually one other person. There's a post-credit sequence after this where Sachika meets that person, and then it just keeps like growing back to humanity. So it's a great game, seriously. If you can, buy it. Just outright buy it. It's one of the best modern dungeon crawlers you can find on the market. I'm not gonna say it's cheap, it's not. It was recently on sale, because there was a publisher sale for Spike Chunsoft. Some of which you've actually missed that now. But it's worth full price. It's straight up worth the £50, $60, that sort of stuff. So I'm guessing time was a 154-ish? Or 155? Because I legitimately don't know. If you actually beat the game, oh, 154, nice. If you actually beat the game with all of the secret stuff collected, so effectively 100%, all of the plot stuff 100%ed, you unlock this in Japanese. And then it's been somewhat conflicting if it's random or not, so... Well, it's still not world record and it's not PB, so I don't really mind. If it was probably going to be world record, then I would have been a lot more active with it, so I legitimately don't mind. And this, all the credit stuff is basically Sachika going on a massive adventure, because right at the end, Haruto realised that no, there is one more person alive, because that's how the game worked. So it's Sachika going through all of the worlds after they've been completely ruined by the Cleone, just to find the very last human other than her alive. Since I've actually got a fair bit of time because it's pretty early. If you're thinking, oh, couldn't they have just reproduced as like everybody else to survive? No. The Cleone were originally created as a military weapon, and they purposefully took out the ability to reproduce because of the fact it was meant to be a military weapon as a failsafe. But Sachika was born without an X key, so she didn't actually have that limitation anymore. It's the same reason that Sachika doesn't die from old age. It's because she was an early prototype before it became used for a military weapon. The very reason it became a calamity level issue was because of its use as a military weapon and for revenge. Because Kurosaki was a murderer, mass murderer, who was hired by Sachika's dad, I believe, if I'm remembering it correctly. Yeah. Let me see the Spectrum's logo. Then it's just a post-credit sequence, which it doesn't take long. It's 2 minutes, so got plenty of time. And of course, she was keeping in her journal how many human lives were left. Because of course that'd be something you'd want to keep track of at a human level extinction event.
I distinctly remember Rio telling me that one time. There's still one life left. That's right. The game didn't include the current life as part of the remaining count. If the extend machine was modeled after that game, the humanity counter must work the same way. 0 lives left doesn't actually mean 0. There's still one more person. This may just be wishful thinking. Hell, this could all be complete nonsense. But this is the last bit of hope I can leave for you. Keep searching. You're not alone in this world. They must be out there somewhere. That person is your last remaining friend.
And then a person's figure comes right after Sachika's very nearly breathed her last.
Good morning. May I ask your name?
My name is...
Girl of Original Sin. Extend. Well, there's a high chance that we may actually get a second game. And of course, all of the characters died because their X keys broke. Well, keys didn't break. The extend machine broke. So when this happens, they could be revived. It turns back on. There's 2 people alive. 3. 4. Yeah. And then a 5th. So, as the final part says, thank you for playing, and thank you very much for coming along. I do hope everybody will stay to watch more of B.O.S.S, the bad and obscure speedrun showcase. Next up in 10 minutes, no, 20 minutes, we have a Guardians Crusade, ran by Slower, the Demon, on the original PlayStation. Again, another 90%, and it should last 3 hours, 35 minutes. So it will indeed become pretty enjoyable as something to watch.
Doing my job here, pretty much.
Yeah, so save clear
I
data,
figured-
yes.
I figured I would also say that we'll be like while we're still in the game scene. I figured I'd say we're gonna have a restreamer cut. So Slower will be not restreaming his own game. I will be restreaming for him so he can focus on the game, and I will be handling the tech for that. So the stream will go down for a little bit. So don't panic, everyone. We will announce it on the intermission again. The stream will go down for a little bit. Don't panic. Refresh the stream. We're gonna be back live. It's just gonna be a few seconds, and then we'll bring you Guardians Crusade.
Yep, and as I'd stated, if you'd noticed, as I'd shown off at the beginning, that's actually in the game world. That's literally at the beginning start. There we go. That's nice.
Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. That was Zanki 0. Up next we have Guardians Crusade by yours truly. I don't know who that guy is. But stick around just for a little bit. We are going to be changing restreamers. But I do want to just give a